I never needed to do photograph shoots. I never needed to do red rugs. Disdain it, can't stand it. I simply disdain that individuals anticipate that I should to act a particular kind of way. Hollywood, frequently depicted as a position of glamour and charm, has long held an interest for its insiders and untouchables. Nonetheless, behind the stunning veneer, there exists a shadowy world that many know nothing about, an existence where the lives and vocations of entertainers and specialists might be heavily influenced by inconspicuous powers. I disapprove of specific strategic approaches. Also, he said, all things considered, it's okay. Also, I said, it's not all right. It's not okay. This is the entire thing. It resembles we've currently seen all that occurs. Assuming that you make some noise on these agreements, it is inside this mysterious scenery that the cryptic figure of Matt Damon has dropped hints, suggesting the presence of a more obscure side inside Hollywood's internal operations. Clearly, the appeal of Tinseltown, with its commitment of fame and achievement, frequently eclipses the murkier perspectives that hide underneath its surface. So seeing Matt Damon, a noticeable entertainer who has graced both the big screen and honorary pathway, offering experiences into the business secret of intrigues, is a much-needed development. I didn't work with him again from that point forward, yet I was there sort of that was the level of his power and that was his legend. In a noteworthy meeting that sent shockwaves through Hollywood, Damon suggested the topic of Harvey Weinstein, a strong figure who once held influence over the business. Damon's words reverberated with a demeanor of secret, alluding to the subtle pretense that covered the internal functions of Miramax, the actual focal point of realistic greatness during the 90s. In that essential second, Damon's voice filled in as a conductor for the unheard murmurs that had long flowed inside the business echelons. He discussed people who had wandered into Weinstein's domain, their aims in general good, seeking to make true-to-life magnum opuses. However, as Damon uncovered, they accidentally became ensnared in a snare of criminal predation, an evil reality that had evaded their most stunning minds. Miramax was the spot, actually the spot that was making extraordinary stuff during the 90s. This degree of criminal predation isn't something that I at any point thought was going on. Anyway, Damon's cases on the secret insidious truth of Hollywood have confirmed. One of the most disturbing disclosures is the thought that a few dark entertainers have been forced into dressing as ladies, a disputable and awkward part of media outlets that has left many scratching their heads. We should investigate a portion of the dark entertainers who have wandered into this region and how, regardless of the debate, they have arisen as probably the best figures in Hollywood today. Harking back to the 1970s, Flip Wilson was viewed as one of the trailblazers of satire for individuals of color. His hit show, The Flip Wilson Show, slung him to fame during that period. Be that as it may, even in those beginning of dark diversion, Wilson ended up depending on Hall for his personality Geraldine. It was a move that, by and large, caused a stir and uncovered an example that would endure for a really long time. Eddie Murphy, known for his perfect comedic timing and flexibility, is notable for his capacity to genuinely change into his characters, regardless of whether it implies wearing ladies' clothing. His parts in The Nutty Teacher and Norbit saw him taking on various female characters, frequently with overstated highlights and clothing. While his ability is unquestionable, it brings into question why such depictions are considered significant in Hollywood. Indeed, even Jamie Foxx isn't saved from this. Prior to turning into a Foundation grant-winning entertainer, the entertainer improved his comedic abilities on the hit network show Unfiltered and Amazing. During his experience on the show, Fox oftentimes spruced up as the person Wanda in different parody plays. Have we settled on anything? Indeed, I have a white wine. All right. What's more, as far as you might be concerned, miss? Indeed. My God. While his exhibitions were without a doubt engaging, they actually add to the continuous discussion about dark entertainers being driven into drag jobs. Then, at that point, there's Chris Exhaust, the entertainer known for his job in the hit film Friday, ended up assuming a showy female personality in the fifth component while Exhaust's profession was on the ascent at that point. One can't resist the urge to ask why these jobs are much of the time a piece of a dark entertainer's excursion to standard achievement. Maybe the most dubious figure in this conversation is Tyler Perry, a movie producer and entertainer who has fabricated an extravagant realm around his Medea character. Your hands on me. I will punch all that Spanish out your throat. You will speak candidly up English. Perry's choice to depict different female characters in a single film brings up issues about the need of such depictions and their effect on the business. While these entertainers have made noteworthy progress in their professions, it's fundamental to consider the more extensive ramifications of their decisions to wear ladies' clothing for jobs. Pundits contend that these depictions sustain overly critical generalizations and sabotage the positive portrayal of dark people in media outlets. One of those pundits is Cat Williams. In April 2013, Cat Williams, a noticeable comedic figure, answered seeing entertainer Kevin Hart wearing a dress during a Saturday Night Live play that cleverly mocked entertainer Quincy Wallace. "I'm saying by the day's end, Kevin doesn't need to stress over the thing individuals will say regarding him wearing a dress in light of the long queue of dress-wearing individuals before him." In the open meeting, Williams got straight to the point, proposing that Hart's decision to wear a dress was something other than an individual choice. It was, in his view, a piece of a disturbing pattern inside media outlets. Williams proceeded to feature the more extensive setting, underlining that Hart was just continuing in the strides of a long queue of male performers who had recently been wearing ladies' clothing. This perception causes to notice the upsetting example of dark entertainers, specifically being pushed toward such jobs. Nonetheless, Kevin Hart, because of the contention encompassing his decision to wear a dress, safeguarded it as an issue of individual decision. He made sense of that. He was at first among the jokesters who had resolvedly pronounced they could never wear a dress. However, when given what he saw as an entertaining and open door, he went with the choice to embrace it. Hart underlined that all that truly mattered was what he tracked down amusing. With all due respect, Hart raised the point that nobody effectively propels entertainers to take on such jobs. It stays a matter of individual decision. He additionally highlighted models like Martin Lawrence, Tyler Perry, Jamie Foxx, and other people who had willfully depicted characters in drag, underscoring that it was a cognizant choice on their part. Nonetheless, the more extensive setting can't be overlooked. Media outlets' propensity to greenlight projects that include people of color dressing in ladies' clothing is a hostile issue. Pundits contend that these depictions frequently propagate slanderous generalizations and belittling cartoons. They fight that chiefs rush to endorse such undertakings, yet they are undeniably less ready to help positive portrayals of dark families or couples. This debate looks back to the beginning of servitude, where people of color and ladies were frequently decreased to objects of amusement for white slave proprietors. Their enduring was a wellspring of entertainment and joke. Hundreds of years after the fact, some declare that the business actually tracks down entertainment in portraying dark people in a pessimistic light. Whether it's a person of color in a dress or a person of color depicted as a prostitute, the basic message is an upsetting one. His refusal to adjust to industry assumptions has in certain circles prompted him being named as crazy. However, that is not all. In the event that you at any point required a chilling look into the dull underside of Hollywood, the